This is like if the movie Marriage Story was turned up to 11 with a mix of hentai. It's day 4 of 31 Days of Horror, and we are watching the movie Possession. We are introduced to Mark and Anna, who are a married couple going through a tough time after Anna reveals that she is having an affair with him, and she leaves him and her son behind. Mark tries to figure out why his wife is acting like this, but also wants answers from the guy that she's cheating on him with. At first I thought Anna was the only crazy one because she's super crazy in this, but honestly both of them are. We see loud outbursts at a restaurant from Mark, them yelling at each other, them throwing stuff, and a bunch of physical abuse from each other. Honestly, it's hard to take sides in this movie because both of them are in the wrong with how they act. But at least Mark is actually trying to take care of their kid and act like a parent, while Anna is out doing who knows what. The private detective that Mark hires is like the worst private detective ever, and he follows her like way too closely. The guy that Anna is seeing, his name is Heinrich, and he is a super weird character in all of this movie. I was wondering why this movie was labeled as a horror movie until about 50 minutes in, until we get to Anna's new apartment. Then I was like, oh, that's why. The blood in this movie is like super red and it looks like paint. Mark happens to meet his son's teacher, who looks exactly like Anna, but with green eyes, and this whole plot point kind of comes up later in the film. There are a lot of scenes in this movie where Anna is screaming and acting super crazy for little to no reason. It really does add nothing to the plot, and the worst of it is the subway scene where she's acting super erratic, flailing everywhere, and rolling in just weird fluids while she's screaming, and like weird white stuff is coming out of her, and then all of a sudden like blood and pus and other weird liquids are coming out of her, and she's just screaming bloody murder. It's gross, it's weird. If you can get something out of this part, if there's some deeper meaning that they're trying to get at, I just don't think it worked. It's just really gross and kind of weird. We also get this really weird bedroom scene near the end of the movie with Anna and this thing, and that's why I mentioned hentai earlier. It was also really funny because she says almost a lot, and I was kind of laughing. The acting in this is super over the top and extra, and it does get annoying after a while. There's a mystery that does unfold in this movie, and I was curious of figuring out what it was, but I don't feel like it was worth the wait to sit through all that crazy and nonsense just to figure out what it was, and it was just kind of like, eh. The ending was also super weird and just kind of like you're scratching your brain trying to figure out what the hell you just watched. I do kind of understand what they were trying to go for to an extent, but I just don't think they told the story well enough for it to matter. It relies too heavily on being symbolic instead of telling an interesting and coherent story. On a scary meter, this movie gets a 1 out of 10. On a blood meter, this gets a 4 out of 10, and that's why I give this movie a 4.5 out of 10. If you guys like this review, hit that like button. If you guys want to see more, hit that follow button, and as always, thanks for watching.